starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
What a difference 24 hours makes. You are looking live at Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. You can see that snow is moving across the area right now. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jennifer Tomazik. You know, it is crazy to think temperatures were in the 50s, close to 60s yesterday, Scott, and now we are looking at snow moving in for New Year's Eve.
Temperatures in the mid-30s right now. Fortunately, temperatures above freezing, so it'll be hard for it to stick, at least during the daylight hours today, but do have a pretty good wall of snow moving across much of Ohio. 37 degrees outside right now as we look live into downtown Pittsburgh. Cloudy, couple of flurries and sprinkles in Pittsburgh. Notice the wind chill, 28 degrees, winds starting to get a bit gusty. Current wind chill Beaver, 25, 26 is what it feels like right now in Butler. Here's live Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. Notice the brighter white from Newcastle back to Canada's New Philadelphia right now, all the way to Akron. Some of this snow is laying on the grassy surfaces. In the Pittsburgh area, it's a mix of some sprinkles and some flurries right now, but I do expect as the air cools for the snow showers to take over this afternoon. You can see that on Storm Tracker. By 4 p.m., most of the steady snow shower activity to the southeast, and little bands are going to come through during the evening hours. That could lead to some slip and slide for your New Year's Eve plans tonight, so keep in mind, heading out this evening, obviously on New Year's Eve, be careful anyway. Temperatures will be in the 30s, wind chills in the 20s, and then those snow showers could add to some icy conditions. Now, coming up in a couple minutes, putting together a new snowfall map to show you how much snow you can expect through the night tonight. I'll have that for you coming up in just about 15 minutes.
All right, and let's take a live look right now outside at downtown Pittsburgh. And kind of hard to see what, the precipitation, different things that are coming down here that Scott was talking about, but definitely looks kind of cloudy out there right now. And you know what? Downtown Pittsburgh's going to be packed in just a few hours for the annual First Night celebration. Channel 11's Mike Holden is live down there for us right now. And Mike, one of the biggest events in the whole entire year is tonight in Pittsburgh.
Jen, and we are just 6 hours out. Good afternoon to you. We're talking all about Highmark First Night Pittsburgh 2020. We've watched from the beginning when there were just a couple of caution pieces in place as well as fencing. I want to step out of frame. I'll have my photographer Paul zoom into the stage, Highmark stage, as well as a number of crews have been unloading trucks in this area. We've noticed a big changeover as far as the weather goes too. It's really, really windy out here. Temperature dropping, so if you're coming out with your family and friends later on, make sure you wear the hat, the gloves, and the layers as well. But Pittsburgh's Cultural District will soon be transforming into a New Year's Eve celebration space. Road closures are in place and continue as crews prepare for the major event happening tonight. One of the performance stages is officially set, and the Family Fun Tent is ready to go for kid-friendly activities, which start later this evening. Magic, comedians, live music, a really cool display called Prismatica, and of course the Raising of the Future of Pittsburgh Ball are just some of this year's biggest attractions. Public safety officials anticipate tens of thousands of people to fill the streets of downtown. We talked with several folks. Listen in.
I think it's very nice. I think it was a very cautionable, decision to do this, to have family, as you said, kid-friendly.
Pay attention to which streets are open and closed, because you'll end up doing a loop-de-loop.
And we've already spotted some of those closures, but you're getting a live look right now. That is where the ball will be raised later on tonight, as well as those Zambelli fireworks, which everyone loves year after year. The outdoor events like here, this concert, free, as well as the fireworks. But if you want to come down here and check out the indoor events, you have to buy a pin or a button. $10 down here, local Giant Eagle, discounted rate $5. Coming up on Channel 11 News at 5, we're diving deeper into safety and security measures. I'll update you with a brand new report right then. Reporting live downtown, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Thanks for all that good information, Mike. Safety downtown is certainly a concern for a lot of people, but overall, crime is essentially unchanged this year. Robberies were down while assaults were slightly up. In September, there were 4 stabbings downtown. We reported on them. We told you police in the city made a lot of changes, including more patrols, and that led to the immediate arrest of one of the suspects. Now, as a way to cut down on crime, Mayor Bill Peduto wants to create a new police zone. It would cover just the North Shore and focus on places like Heinz Field and PNC Park. The idea is contingent upon 3 new substations included in next year's budget. Those would be located in Homewood, the South Side, and downtown. We have breaking news at noon to tell you about today. Not good news for Pens fans. Penguins forward Jake Guentzel will be off the ice for up to 6 months. If you were watching the game, he injured his shoulder last night. Now you can see him kind of struggling there on the ice. We're told he had surgery this morning. It went well, but that recovery period is lengthy. So yesterday, the NHL announced that Guentzel was selected for the All-Star team for the first time. Unfortunately, though, that game is at the end of January, so it looks like Guentzel will not be playing. We do have some new information for you this afternoon about why the fire department was out of the Giant Eagle in Shaler this morning. The Undercliff Volunteer Fire Department posted on its Facebook page that one of the meat freezers was having some issues. They took it apart and they didn't find that the problem had spread anywhere else. At Westmoreland County, mom and dad are facing charges after police say that their 4 kids were living in a house of filth. Those kids were removed from the home in Hempfield Township last week. Westmoreland County Sheriff's deputies say that all the kids were under the age of 6 and they were living in sickening conditions. Now, deputies first went to this house last Thursday with a search warrant. And then, according to court papers, they found the kids covered in filth and their clothes were stained black. Their hands and feet were covered in a black sludge that was covering the living room floor. Now, their parents, Cloyd and Melissa Zimmerman, turned themselves in yesterday. CYS is now taking care of the kids. Top Democrats are calling a new report about the impeachment inquiry a game changer. The New York Times report details the role acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney played in withholding money to Ukraine. It also reveals other officials' efforts to get that aid released. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the report shows the need for witnesses in their testimony in the president's impeachment trial. Many of those witnesses refused to testify in the House impeachment hearings. It was a chaotic scene this morning at the American Embassy in Iraq. Protesters broke into the compound and set fire to a reception area. And we did just get word that all embassy workers are safe, so that really is some good news. And there are no plans right now to evacuate. Now, those protesters were upset over deadly U.S. airstrikes that targeted the Iran-backed militia over the weekend. NBC's Alia Rosie reports.
Iraqi Shia militia supporters have broken down the U.S. Embassy gate door, stormed inside the compound as gunshots and sirens ring out and fires have been set. Now, earlier in the day, hundreds of protesters and Iran-backed militia fighters had assembled near the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad to condemn airstrikes that killed 25 of their fighters in Iraq. The protesters had initially held funerals for the fighters killed in the airstrikes in a Baghdad neighborhood. From there, they marched to the sprawling U.S. Embassy in the heavily fortified Green Zone. Initially, protesters shouted "Down with the USA," hurled water bottles, smashed security cameras around the compound, and hung yellow militia flags on the walls of the embassy. It now appears the situation has taken a much more violent and serious turn. An Iraqi security source tells NBC News that guards inside the embassy have used tear gas grenades to try and prevent the demonstrators from moving towards the main buildings inside the compound. President Trump sent out a tweet saying Iran killed an American contractor, wounding many. We strongly respond and always will. Now Iran is orchestrating an attack on the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. They will be held fully responsible. In addition, we expect Iraq to use its forces to protect the embassy, and so notified.
This afternoon, a 14-year-old boy is behind bars. He is charged as an adult. Police say that he was one of the teenagers who forced their way into a home and attacked a couple with a baseball bat. Jamie Watkins is charged with attempted homicide. He was moved from the juvenile detention center to the Washington County Jail last weekend. Police say that Watkins and a 16-year-old named Christopher Urista attacked the couple inside their Monongahela home earlier this month and demanded money, marijuana, and access to a safe. Police are still searching for Urista. An old abandoned local library might get new life in 2020. It's the mission of city and local leaders in Hazelwood who are searching for developers. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer reports.
At one point, this was a bustling library, but now it's just a locked-up eyesore. Neighbors say they hope something can be done with it, and leaders say they're working on it. It's a local historic landmark standing vacant. Yet leaders are working to change that and turn the former Carnegie Library in Hazelwood into something new. The Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh is working to choose a developer to purchase the property on Monongahela Street, issuing a request for proposals in September. Our Trib Partners report a review committee will be vetting the pitches. Locals hope it works out.
I think they need to clean it up and make something happen here. We don't have nothing in Hazelwood. So we need some kind of activity. I would like them to make it for the kids, the kids need more. Too much stuff going on around in the world.
And you'll hear more from that woman and more on the process to get this redeveloped coming up in a report at 5. In Hazelwood, I'm Liz Kilmer, Channel 11 News.
UPMC is opening up a new urgent care center at Children's Hospital. It'll focus on orthopedics. According to our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times, parents can take their kids there for minor bone and muscle injuries. UPMC says the goal is for the kids to be seen in a timely manner by someone who knows orthopedic injuries. It'll be open next Monday, January 6th. It's right at Children's Hospital on the 2nd floor, and it will be open from 5 to 9 on the weekdays and then 1 to 5 on the weekends. You might have a bigger paycheck to look forward to in the new year. A new federal rule guaranteeing overtime pay goes into effect on January 1st. So this rule guarantees time and a half to nearly all hourly employees who work more than 40 hours a week. It also applies to most salaried employees who make less than $35,000 a year. This could mean more money for 61,000 Pennsylvanians. Butler County is changing the way it pays its employees. County commissioners approved a new policy last week. They say it will help them set rates for non-union workers who are new, transferring positions, or have a change in status. The new policy takes effect tomorrow. Receiving the ultimate honor, how a local soldier killed nearly 70 years ago will finally get the burial he deserves. Plus, they lost everything in a fire, how total strangers are stepping up to help.
Plus, I'm tracking snow into the area right now and how that's going to impact your New Year's Eve plans.
Unwrap a new phone or tablet this holiday season? Download the WPXI apps for free. Local news, breaking news, and your Severe Weather Team 11 forecast. Available now on the App Store and on Google Play. Just search WPXI.
Keeps you prepared.
The most extensive school closings, always scrolling.
Snow totals where you live.
And live conditions on the roads you travel.
Plus urgent updates from the breaking news desk.
Watch Channel 11 Morning News. Watch David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan on Channel 11 News at 5.
We have the latest this afternoon on the family who lost everything when a truck hit a gas line and then set their home on fire. You can see there's not too much left to it there. They had about a minute to get out of the house before it tore through, before that fire went through it. Now they're getting quite a bit of help from their East Deer community. Here's Channel 11's Shelley Bortz.
Linda, just tell us why you're doing this.
No good reason. Just because they're neighbors.
Linda Kissel doesn't even know the family of 6 who lost everything when a pickup truck crashed into the front porch of their home, puncturing the gas meter and sparking a massive fire. But she tells me it doesn't matter because they're neighbors.
It's just a great community, and people help other people, and people are always looking out for people. And all kinds of like trucks and stuff, and then airplanes.
Kissel may not be Santa Claus, but what she and other community members are doing to help this family, mom, dad, and 4 children ages 8, 6, 4, and 3, is heartwarming. And it's not just their community who has opened their arms.
I've had so many carfuls of people from Sarver, from New Kensington, from Lower Borough. I am just shocked over all the stuff.
The family barely made it out of their house with only the clothes on their backs, but those items are now being replaced.
We're getting a lot of hygienics. We're getting a lot of clothes, toys for the children. People are coming asking the sizes for the children and what the family needs, and we're getting that as we go along.
Monetary donations have been pouring in too. They've even had people ask to take the family grocery shopping. A tight-knit community showing their true colors in the wake of tragedy.
I think the community really has come together. All we have provided is an outlet for them. We opened up the township building and here they come.
Shelley Bortz, Channel 11 News.
Wonderful to hear. And if you want to donate, you can do that at the township building, or you can go through a GoFundMe page. You can find a link to that on our website, WPXI.com. A man from Pittsburgh who died serving our country during the Korean War is finally coming back to the States. Army First Lieutenant Robert Steislinger was 28 years old when he was killed in action in November of 1950. His remains have just been identified, and he will be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. His remains were among the 55 boxes that were turned over by North Korea last year. This was after the summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. 7,600 Americans are still unaccounted for from the Korean War. Tips continue to pour in as police search for a missing 14-year-old boy from Ohio. Harley Dilley was last seen 10 days ago when he left for school. Neighbors have been putting up these missing posters throughout his hometown of Port Clinton. That's a small town by the lake about an hour west of Cleveland.
The chief of police asked to keep the lights on our porches, so we've had them on ever since and don't plan on turning them off.
The search for Harley went nationwide on Friday, and the FBI shared his picture with Channel 11. I want you to take a look at this here. Look at that. That canopy at a gas station came down because of really strong winds. You can see, looks like, gosh, maybe a TV reporter was standing outside at the time. You could see from that surveillance video there. This was more than 23,000 people who are impacted in this area. They've lost power. There are even other buildings, too, that are pretty badly damaged.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
We start off with live storm tracker Doppler 11 radar. Just been checking our live PennDOT cameras, and there is definitely a difference in the precip across the area right now, so we'll get to those live cameras in a second. This is live storm tracker Doppler 11 radar. The green indicating rain, the pink indicating a mix of rain and snow showers, and the white and the gray indicating the snow showers. Now you head up into Lawrence County, picking up some fairly bright white into Lawrence County, northern Butler County towards Slippery Rock right now. So this should be laying on the grassy surfaces. Roadways are going to be a little tougher, especially the main roadways, because temperatures yesterday made it to 60 degrees and we're still well above freezing right now. Here's the motion on this, and notice I-70 corridor north, it's the best chance of getting it to stick. It's going to last for a couple of hours, so you could pick up a slushy ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch of snow this afternoon. Notice how warm the temperatures are, though. 36 in Pittsburgh, 41 in Greensburg. So you folks in Greensburg, it's going to start off as a little bit of rain. As a matter of fact, across the area right now, already starting off is a bit of rain. Wind chill is going to be a factor the rest of the day. Feels like 25 in Pittsburgh. Feels like 26 in Butler. Here's that forecast wind chill as we go through the afternoon and into the evening. If you have New Year's Eve plans tonight, wind chill is going to drop into the teens tonight. So definitely cold. So bundle up as you head outside tonight. Here's a live look at those PennDOT cameras. This is I-79 Wexford. Notice the fuzzy shading to the background. That's because the visibility is coming down. We have snow showers in the Wexford area. Now, this is about mile marker 73. Head down to mile marker 66. We're talking 7 miles down the road. Look at the raindrops on the windshield right now at Deer Run. That's the Neville Island Bridge in the background. So just a 7-mile difference, making the difference between rain and a rain-snow mix right now or straight snow showers. And as the colder air works in aloft, we'll continue to turn all this over to snow showers this afternoon with the breeze as well. Winds kicking up to 30, 35 miles per hour at times. And again, snow may mix with rain, especially south of Pittsburgh. Not talking huge snowfall amounts. Snow showers will continue off and on through tonight. 1 to 2 inches, Route 422 corridor up to the I-80 corridor. Inch or less for most of the rest of the area. And again, during the next couple of hours, most of that will be on grassy surfaces. Watch out for some of the roadways, though, icing up, especially after sunset tonight. That means be careful, extra careful for New Year's Eve if you're traveling out and about, because snow showers will continue off and on, although more off tonight than on. That wind chill will be down the low 20s if you're standing in downtown Pittsburgh tonight. Definitely a cold night tonight. Tomorrow, a couple morning snow showers. Otherwise, just a chilly start to the year with a high temperature of 36 degrees. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. Partly sunny, dry Thursday, 47. Rain on Friday, 53, and we'll continue the rain showers into Saturday with a high of 47. Colder air works in Sunday. A couple snow showers in 32 degrees. I'll have an updated look at Storm Tracker and Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar to show you where that snow is beginning to fall. Coming up next half hour.
A story goes viral about a McDonald's worker writing a derogatory term on a police officer's cup. But the officer just confessed to making it up. How police were able to debunk his story. Plus, a popular restaurant unexpectedly shut down. Why the owners fear the building is about to collapse.
News is happening in your neighborhood. Channel 11 News is there.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, and Butler. We cover news everywhere you live, not just downtown. We're in Aliquippa, Coriopolis, and Moon.
Bringing you stories that impact your town. That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
More local news from more neighborhoods. That's a fact. We're in Bethel Park, South Park, and Mount Lebanon. When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News.
During severe weather.
Count on Channel 11 Morning News.
A Pine Township restaurant is temporarily closed because the owners say the ground underneath it is unsteady. Emporio, a meatball joint, is right there on 19 in the Pine Tree Shops. But yesterday afternoon, the restaurant closed. Their attorney said the subsoil under the floor settled several inches, and that caused it to separate from a portion of the wall.
One of the employees noticed it, so we went in there with an expert to look at it all, and like I said, it appears that the soil has not compacted properly, and it's settling at an alarming rate.
The property owner told Channel 11 that the building is not the problem. He said, quote, "There is no issue with anything structural whatsoever. This is a minor problem that Emporio is responsible to fix." They think the issue might be a drain line that Emporio installed. A Westmoreland County community wants to know what will happen to a plant that closed. State lawmakers who represent Avonmore say that the new owners of the Acres National Roll plant are not sharing their plans for the site. Now, the plant was sold to Georgia Financial in September. Leaders have tried to reach out to them several times, but they told our Trib partners they didn't get a response. At its peak, nearly 90% of the borough's residents worked at that mill. A Kansas police officer has resigned after lying about a derogatory word written on his McDonald's cup. This is the picture that blew up on social media a few weeks back. The cup had expletive pig written on it. People on social media were outraged that someone would insult a police officer like that. But it turns out it never happened.
The duty of every police officer is to protect and serve with the highest level of integrity and trust. This incident has been an obvious violation of that public trust.
Police say that surveillance video proved that the McDonald's worker did not write anything on the man's cup. The officer confessed to writing it, but said it was a joke and then resigned. A Westmoreland County Police Department is saying goodbye to one of its officers. K-9 Blade is retiring. Yesterday was his last day with the Daryborough Police Department. He's been on the job for 12 years. Right now, there are no plans to replace Blade, but the department says it hopes the program will continue. If you're planning a dry January, then you might be interested in a new pop-up bar that's alcohol-free. According to our partners at the Trib, you can go to Creative Coffee and Supply on Smithfield Street downtown every Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, I should say, in January, starting on the 15th. They'll serve booze-free sangria and cocktails and non-alcoholic craft beer.
Sam's dead. It's not. No, it's not.
A friend of a 90-year-old man murdered over the weekend is still in disbelief over the killing. How he says he'll always remember his mentor.
Plus, I'm tracking bands of heavier snow showers and how it could disrupt the early evening commute.
When news is happening near you, Channel 11 is there.
Aliquippa, Coriopolis, Moon. We cover news everywhere you live.
That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, Butler. For news from where you live,
watch Channel
Channel 11 News 11 at 11. Accurate details, experienced coverage, trusted weather source.
I'm tracking a strong storm moving into Greensburg.
All in the first 11 minutes of our newscast. Count on Channel 11 News 11 at 11 tonight.
Be prepared for severe weather. Count on Channel 11 Morning News. Severe Weather Team at 11 is back tracking the snow falling across the area. You were taking a live look at our traffic cameras up at I-79 right near Route 228, and you can kind of see that there's a little bit of some type of precipitation there on the lens, Scott. And I liked how you kind of showed us a span of 79 going from Wexford down to about Ohio Township. So
that's I-79 Route 228, so that's in Cranberry Township, and you notice the raindrops on the windshield because it's still changing back and forth. I was just checking the observations. We're seeing a mix of rain and snow right now at Pittsburgh International Airport. So let me show you a couple more cameras right now. This is I-79, 279 split. This is about mile marker 72. Now, when I put this camera into my computer system about 3 or 4 minutes ago, this was all shaded out because of the fact we had reduced visibility. Notice we still have some snowflakes with this, but mixing in with the raindrops and then heading down toward the Parkway West, Robinson Town Center, all rain right now. And until the colder air starts to work in aloft, a lot of this is going to be a mix into Allegheny, Westmoreland County, probably into the Greensburg area. Straight rain with the temperature nearly 41 degrees. You can see that, the green near Greensburg. Pittsburgh's pretty much the cutoff. North of that, you have a mix, and then once you get up into Lawrence County, northern Butler County, some fairly decent snow coming down at a decent clip, and that's moving in to Beaver County as well. All temperatures above freezing. This is the good news. It's going to be hard to get it to stick area roadways for at least the next couple of hours, but keep in mind if you head outside, there's a biting wind this afternoon. New Year's Eve forecast, cold, brisk, a couple of snow showers around. I'm updating Storm Tracker right now to show you when those bands of snow are going to come through your area and how much you can expect through the night tonight. That's coming up in about 15 minutes.
If it wasn't for him, I'd just probably be somebody lost.
Only on 11, the business partner of a 90-year-old man who was murdered over the weekend describes the impact the victim had on his life. Samuel Rendy was shot and killed Saturday morning in Greenfield while sitting in his truck, and police say the killing was not random. They say the suspect targeted Rendy, shooting him and then taking his ring and his watch. Channel 11's Aaron Martin went to Rendy's home to find out more about who this man was.
2 pool tables and cleared out.
This is the S&B Club in Hazelwood that's scheduled to open for New Year's Eve tomorrow. The B stands for Bill Spencer, and the S for his 90-year-old business partner, Sam Rendy. An opening he will never see.
He's a rough, tough, but really soft in the heart man. He's like, oh my goodness, he's like, you know, I'm just hurt.
Rendy was shot and killed while sitting in his car in front of Calvary Cemetery in Hazelwood Saturday afternoon. 27-year-old Anthony Miller is charged with homicide, a shooting Pittsburgh police say was targeted. When he got the call, Spencer was in disbelief.
Sam's dead. Sam, it's not. No, he's not. I mean, I just seen him, you know, the night before. I just seen him before. He says no, and they started explaining to me, and I just flipped out.
According to the criminal complaint, an eyewitness spotted the suspect walking away from the scene with a dog. He was carrying a gun, and officers found a bloody ring hiding in Miller's sock, which he admitted belongs to Rendy. Police say Miller also confessed to the shooting.
It's sad. I mean, he's 90 years old. Like, who would do that to an old elderly man?
Despite the pain, Spencer says he still plans on opening the social club on 2nd Avenue that bears Rendy's name. Spencer says it will be in honor of his mentor.
What's that like for him to have that kind of confidence in you?
Man, the only person who had that much confidence in me was my mother and father, and they've been going for a long time.
Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
Again, police say that this was a targeted killing, but they have not released a possible motive. Miller is supposed to be in court on Friday. It has been nearly 3 years since a little boy was brutally killed in Butler County. It's a story that still tugs at your heartstrings. The man charged with killing him just unexpectedly took a plea deal. Jordan Lambing admitted to murdering and physically assaulting Bentley Miller. The little 4-year-old boy died in March of 2017 after being left alone in a hotel room with Lambing while his mom was at work. Prosecutors say the plea deal spares the boy's family from reliving all those horrible details. The man accused of stabbing 5 people at a Hanukkah celebration in New York is now charged with federal hate crimes. Investigators say they found anti-Semitic writings in his journal. He's already pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of attempted murder. Reporter Miguel Marquez has more on the new charges.
Federal hate crime charges lay out what prosecutors say was the anti-Semitic motivation behind a machete-wielding attack on Hasidic Jews at a rabbi's home in the middle of a Hanukkah celebration. Investigators say on suspect Grafton Thomas's phone's internet history from recent days, searches for synagogues in New York and New Jersey, the search terms, why did Hitler hate the Jews, and prominent companies founded by Jews in America. From the 37-year-old's home, investigators say they recovered handwritten journals expressing anti-Semitic sentiments and references to the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, which asserts they are the true descendants of ancient Israelites and Jews are interlopers. The teachings of the same group were connected, says a law enforcement official, to the attack on a kosher market in New Jersey earlier this month.
He's coming after me. Hey, you, I'll get you.
Yosef Gluck was in the rabbi's home when Thomas walked in and announced, say investigators, no one is leaving. Wielding an 18-inch machete and, according to court documents, began stabbing and slashing people. 5 people suffered serious injuries, including a severed finger, slash wounds, and deep lacerations. One remains in critical condition with a skull fracture.
I started to come back to the front door. I opened the door, saw one older gentleman bleeding. He stayed in there, and the attacker came back from the kitchen to the main room.
Gluck had the presence of mind to chase the attacker to his car and get his license plate number. Less than 2 hours after the attack, Thomas was arrested by NYPD officers as he returned to Manhattan. The video of that arrest captured on security camera and released by NYPD. Investigators say his clothing and hands had blood on them, and the car smelled of bleach in a possible attempt to wash away evidence.
My impression from speaking with him is that he needs serious psychiatric evaluation.
Thomas's family says he's a former Marine and not anti-Semitic, but does have mental health issues. His lawyer says he looked over the same journals described by investigators.
There is no suggestion in any of those ramblings and pages of writing of an anti-Semitic motive.
Outgoing Pittsburgh City Councilwoman Darlene Harris is being honored by her colleagues. City Council proclaimed Monday as Darlene Harris Day, despite an ongoing police investigation into allegations that Harris stole several items gifted to the city. Now, she was honored as City Council's longest-serving member with more than a decade of service. She was presented, as you see in this picture, with a pewter plate and a glass paperweight. Harris says her greatest accomplishment was saving the city's pension system when the state threatened to take it over because there wasn't enough money in it. The theft allegation is just one example of kind of the rocky relationship that Harris had recently with some city leaders. Pittsburgh police are investigating whether she took thousands of dollars worth of items from a cabinet outside council chambers. She says the items were given to her as a gift. And earlier this month, Harris sued the city, claiming that she was illegally fined for failing to file campaign finance reports. The governor of West Virginia decided to fire 34 cadets after a picture surfaced showing them giving the Nazi salute. Investigators say a cadet started doing the salute and the instructor encouraged it and assured the cadets it was okay. Some of the cadets told investigators they didn't feel comfortable doing it in the class picture, but the instructor told them to.
We are shameful that this occurred under our watch, and we assure you that under our watch it will not happen again.
3 staff members were also fired and 4 instructors were suspended without pay. You unplug the TV before you leave the house for vacation? Why, our consumer advisor says don't. And only Channel 11 has video of a suspect armed with a drill. What police say he was after with it that he just couldn't reach.
This is Channel 11 News 11 at 11.
11 at 11 starts with team coverage of this breaking story.
Accurate details.
Tonight we're talking to parents who have major concerns.
Experienced coverage.
We just got this new information.
Trusted weather source.
I'm tracking a strong storm picking up speed.
All in the first 11 minutes of our newscast. Dependable coverage of breaking news.
That truck came barreling down the hill straight into the home.
Tracking storms to prepare you for tomorrow. Count on Channel 11 News 11 at 11. Johnson and Lisa Sylvester on Channel 11 News 11 at 11.
Only Channel 11 has some surveillance video to show you. It's of a man who tried to steal money from a car wash using a power drill. Take a look. It's pretty clear, too. Police say this happened at Morgan's Car Wash in Butler Township back on December 20th. So you can see the man there. He looks like he's got something kind of hidden underneath his coat. They say that he tried and failed to break into a change machine. Now, he is wearing the same clothes as a man who held up the Dollar General store in Butler Township 2 days earlier. We talked to customers at the car wash from that video, and they say they can't believe someone would go through all that just for some loose change.
This is penny ante quarter stuff. If they're going to rob something, you think they'd rob something big.
So police are saying if you know who this man is in either one of these videos here, give him a call. 2 Westmoreland County establishments have been cited for violating liquor laws. According to our partners at the Trib, the Hermione VFW is in trouble for not maintaining proper records, and the Out of the Fire Cafe in Donegal was cited for selling alcohol to a minor over the summer. Both establishments face fines, or they could have their liquor licenses suspended. It is one of the biggest New Year celebrations in the entire world. After the break, we're going to take you to Times Square as organizers gear up for the big show.
Snow and rain moving through the area right now. I'm updating where that snow is going to stick during the afternoon.
Channel 11 News and NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
We're a team you can count on to cover stories that impact your life.
Whether it's across the street or around the world.
Channel 11 News at 6.
And NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
Channel 11 Morning News brings you weather and traffic every 10 minutes. Meteorologist Scott Harbaugh tracks storms down to your neighborhood, and Tricia Pittman helps you get around backups. Check out the difference on Channel 11 Morning News. Pittsburgh's Chief Meteorologist Stephen Cropper tracking the weather in your neighborhood.
Welcome back. We are just a few hours away from the start of the new year, and once again, hundreds of thousands of people will pack Times Square in New York City to watch that ball come down. NBC's Chris Pallone has more from the site of one of the world's biggest parties.
In the crossroads of the world, crowds are starting to gather once again to watch the iconic ball drop to ring in the new year. This is a tradition that goes back to 1907 here in New York. The good news, the weather much better than the last 2 years. Last year, the first time it rained at midnight in 24 years. The year before that, the second coldest ball drop in New York City history. So with mild temperatures in the upper 30s and mid 40s, should be a nice night. The NYPD expects about 1.5 million people out here this evening. They say it will be the safest place to be in the United States. More than 1,000 police officers, both uniformed and plainclothes out here. They'll put up drones. They'll use bomb-sniffing dogs. Access will be controlled to people coming in here. The NYPD says they're setting up for a very safe and very fun celebration to ring in 2020. In Times Square, I'm Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Pennsylvania's natural gas industry is struggling as we head towards 2020. Our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times went through the data from Baker Hughes. Pennsylvania has 25 natural gas rigs right now. There were 47 at the start of the year. Marcellus shale production is down 35%. More natural gas producers are decreasing production because prices are stuck at near record lows. A sinkhole opened up and swallowed half of an SUV. Look at this. This happened in the eastern part of the state yesterday. So watch this surveillance video here. We'll zoom it in. Watch that. Literally, the back of that SUV just goes into that sinkhole as it's driving down a street in Easton. And thankfully, everything turned out to be okay.
All you hear is this loud scratch and boom, kind of sounded like a garbage can going into the back of a garbage truck.
Luckily, the driver made it out safely. Now, city officials there say that a water main break is to blame. And, of course, 2019 was the year of the sinkhole in Pittsburgh, too. This was what the hole on 10th Street looks like there. It nearly swallowed a pet bus. Now, if you are going downtown for First Night tonight, keep in mind that 10th Street is still closed right there near Penn. State officials are keeping a very close eye on pigs after one died in Lancaster County. It had a bacteria that can spread to humans. The pig died 2 weeks ago from strep zoo. That's what it's called. If you haven't heard about it, it's an illness that affects the respiratory system, and it can be transferred to humans or dogs through contact with bodily fluids. Now, officials say the threat, though, is low. The Pennsylvania Farm Show starts this weekend in Harrisburg. So here's what's going to happen. Exhibitors will have to clean and disinfect all their travel equipment before transporting any of those animals. Prince William is launching a contest to come up with solutions to climate change. 5 winners will get the Earthshot Prize each year for the next 10 years, starting in 2021. He's looking for answers to issues like global emissions, air pollution, and fresh water. The prizes will be more than £1 million, but he hasn't listed an exact amount just yet. Former President Barack Obama is known for making year-end lists. He posts everything from his favorite movies to books to music. Now this year, one of his top books is A Different Way to Win, Dan Rooney's story from the Super Bowl to the Rooney Rule. It's written by his son Jim. The former president tweeted, "As we wind down 2019, I wanted to share with you my annual list of favorites that made the last year a little brighter." And so the book, if you haven't read it, is about Dan Rooney's time as owner of president and of the Steelers, as well as U.S. ambassador to Ireland. If getting your finances in order is one of your New Year's resolutions, check your credit report. Your score can impact your ability to get a loan or a job. Sites like Credit.com and Credit Karma offer free access to your credit score and the credit reports that influence it. And if you have a big financial decision to make, experts say don't rush it. Instead, take the time to find the best deal for you. Well, you might be in the habit of unplugging your electronics when you leave for vacation, but consumer advisor Clark Howard says you don't have to do that anymore.
Father doesn't always know best. So many of us have grown up with our parents telling us that when you leave home for any extended period of time, unplug all your electronics and appliances, your TVs and all the rest, because they suck so much energy. Well, that was true, but it's not anymore. There have been big advances in how appliances and electronics are made now, and they're not Draculas anymore. Draculas is an old term where they just keep sucking most of the energy they'd normally do in use when they're sitting there idle. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. What you do need to worry about is power surges and lightning. So make sure you have good power strips that provide real protection in the event you did get hit with a power surge in your home. And one thing you can do is plug all your electronics in the room you watch TV into that. And when you do go on an extended trip, unplug that. But not to save on energy, it's to preserve the appliances and electronics. I'm Clark Howard.
New at noon, let's talk about some good Penguins news. We just found out that Sidney Crosby joined the Pens for practice today. This is the first time that he skated since his hernia surgery. I was just looking at the Pens Twitter account. Says it's great to see you back at practice, Sid. So apparently he was on the ice before practice working with the skills coach, and then he stayed on the ice for the full practice. And the team said, if you remember last month, that Crosby would be out for at least 6 weeks because of that injury, but it looks like he is doing a lot better. Hopefully the hernia recovery is going well. Now the Pens take on the San Jose Sharks on Thursday.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
We have a little bit of everything right now, and it's all about location. Live storm tracker, Doppler 11 radar. The green is rain, the pink is a mix, the white is snow. We do have a couple bursts of some heavier snow up into Butler, Beaver, Lawrence, and Venango counties. Right now, let me take you into downtown Pittsburgh. There's the live sweep on the radar between Beaver, Butler, northern Allegheny County. Primarily rain from Pittsburgh south and east, although a couple snowflakes mixing in. Then once you get into northern Allegheny County, back into Butler County, southern parts of Beaver County, we're starting to pick up a little more in the way of snow. And notice the brighter white. Do have some banding of some heavier snow showers. Now, these are not snow squalls like we had just about 4 or 5 days before Christmas, but you could get a quick coating, especially on the grassy surfaces with these, and some reduced visibility as they head off to the east. So please keep in mind, if you are traveling this afternoon or this evening, we do have some bands of some heavier snow showers, primarily north of Pittsburgh. We might get a couple of these into Pittsburgh, but notice how short-lived it's going to be. This breaks up back into central Ohio, so a couple hours of some snow, enough to whiten the grass, possibly put some light accumulation on road surfaces, but keep in mind temperatures have been so warm lately that it's going to be hard to get anything to stick to area roads. Here's a live look at our PennDOT cameras. I-79 Carnegie right now. It's all rain in this area, and then you head down towards Kerwin Heights, and you can see basically raindrops on the windshield. So it's not snowing everywhere yet, but a couple spots where it is snowing, it is coming down at a fairly decent clip, like northwest of Butler, up into Beaver, where the temperature is 34. Greensburg's down to 39, but still rain showers in Westmoreland County. And as we go through the afternoon into the evening, that's all going to press to the southeast. Wind kind of gusty too. Wind chills mid-20s right now. There goes the press of the snow to the south. Still mixing in south of us. Then we'll get a band or two to set up this evening. If you have New Year's Eve plans, there'll be some snow showers out there, but the cold will be the bigger deal. Most areas an inch or less through tonight. This includes the overnight hours tonight. Once you get into those areas that I mentioned, Butler, Lawrence, Venango County could pick up 1 to 2 inches of snow. 5-day forecast with you. Weekend always in view. A couple morning flurries or a snow shower tomorrow. High temperature 36. Thursday, partly sunny. Warmer, we're going to make it to 47 degrees. Then as we head toward Friday, rain starts to come back in. Could be a decent soaking rain Friday into Saturday before turning colder again by the time we get to Sunday.
New Year's Eve won't be the same in Atlanta this year. Why city leaders had to cancel the annual peach drop.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lash.
And I'm Catherine Amenta.
At Channel 11 Morning News, we help you prepare for the day ahead.
Definitely the heavy rain gear today with temperatures.
Heavier delays for the inbound morning commute.
We expanded our breaking news team to better cover news happening right now and give you new information throughout the morning.
Let's get right to Jennifer Tomazik live at the breaking news desk.
A huge impact on the area. In fact, we just found out.
Don't miss anything happening in the morning. Watch Channel 11 Morning News. We're on from 4:30. forecast, now on your screen all the time on Channel 11 News.
Seems to be a sign of the times. 2 more stores at the Westmoreland Mall are closing. According to our Trib partners, Kitchen Collection is closed and PacSun is closing too. The Westmoreland Mall has lost Sears, Dress Barn, Payless, Verizon, and other stores, but a mini casino is opening in the former Bonton. The Port Authority wants to hear from you in the new year. They told our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times they have 9 meetings set up to get some feedback. Now, in the past, the authority would only schedule meetings when necessary. Some of the things they want to hear about: the Port Authority's long-range plan, the proposed BRT route through Pittsburgh and Oakland, changes to fares, and consolidation of bus stops. If you've ever watched the New Year's celebrations at home, you've probably seen the peach drop in Atlanta, but it's not happening tonight. The 800-pound peach drop has been a tradition for 30 years, but the city couldn't find a new place to host the drop this year since they no longer own the shopping mall where it used to be held.
The public is invited to come in, take photos, as I said, make your New Year's resolution. It'll be here through the end of January, I believe, on display here.
Officials are promising that there will be a peach drop somewhere next New Year's Eve. Speaking of that, happy New Year's Eve to you. Have a wonderful and fun and safe day. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. You can get breaking news updates anytime on our streaming apps. Just search for WPXI on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, Fire as well. Have a good one. Happy New Year.
Put on Channel 11 Morning News. There is a team that has been working all night to get you the news you need.
The news doesn't stop. We don't stop. We want to make sure you know everything you need to know to get prepared for your day.
We decide what is the most important thing that you need to know when you wake up.
Once a story goes on air, that's just the beginning. It's going to change throughout the morning. It always does.
That's why Channel 11 Morning News is here to get you prepared. We have the breaking news desk. We have Scott and Tricia looking out for you as far as weather and traffic. When you walk out that door,